What up? It's 99, Modesto, California, 209. We're at the California Ballroom right here. Legendary building right here from the 90s. People know about it from the 90s, but not too many people know about it from the 80s. It was popping off here. I wasn't even allowed to come here until 85. So, because my parents didn't, I was too young, but it was popping before 85, you know what I mean? So, I was here. My dad used to drop us off and pick us up at the corner, and there was a lot of fights out here sometimes, you know what I mean? I think somebody got stabbed one time. But anyway, I mean, by 85, a lot of the breaking in Modesto, 209, was dying off. So we would come here dressed, you know, like breakers, but a lot of people were trying to dance with girls, you know, and talk to the girls. And so after a while, we just stopped dressing like that, like, you know, like breakers, and just, you know, started wearing cooler clothes because of Crush Groove, you know what I mean? Movie Crush Groove, we try to be with the Kangos and, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So, but yeah, so 85, 86, DJ groups were throwing dances here, parties. 87, the group that I was in called Central Unit, we brought Rodney and Joe Cooley and General Jeff. They told us that was their very first performance as them, as a unit here. It was right here. The freeway is right there. And you exit right here, and then it's the California Ballroom. So that's how they remembered it. Because when I talked to them later in 89, told them about where we're from and told them who we were, and they remembered. They said, yeah, it's right there by the freeway. So Rodney Joe Cooley and General Jeff did their first show as them together right here in Modesto, California.
Ooh.
And I mean, that's what they told us. You know what I'm saying? Because we only booked them because of the strength of Rodney These Are My Beats. And there was no Joe Cooley or General Jeff on that record. So when they came, though, they had the Your Chance to Rock, Everlasting Bass, Yvonne Is On. They performed those here. And also Matrix from Fresno on Jam City Records. He performed here too that same night. But Joe Cooley tore it up, scratching. The crowd went crazy. Rodney and General Jeff were doing the Cabbage Patch routines together, you know what I mean? So it set it off right here, Rodney and Joe Cooley. That was in 87.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but like, there was always been dances here, always. And then there was probably, like in the 90s, I know Triangle Flavor from Stockton, they came in through dances in the 90s. But by then it was a different scene. You know what I mean? It was a different scene. Like a lot of the, because a lot of the breakers from the 80s era were now getting in the Army, getting locked up, getting married and having kids, and just getting jobs, you know what I mean? Just becoming, you know, adults in society, where they looked at breaking like, that's something I used to do. That was fun. You know what I mean? Like, where's it gonna take me? They were, you know what I mean? They didn't see a future in anything like that. So, so they let that era go. So a lot of the cats from the 90s era, they didn't have anybody to look up to, you know what I'm saying? From Modesto or any type of breakers. I mean, if they did, it was like rare to have an OG, like kind of take some 90s cats in. So these 90s breakers were like, they had nowhere to go but VHS, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Soul Train.
Do you remember some of the names of these 90s breakers?
Yes. The world famous Crumbs and Remind. I remember I met Mikey Ice in the 90s. I seen him in the 90s too. Mikey Ice actually caught my attention because being from the 80s era of breaking and now in the 90s, right? So we're at these 90s parties and I'm seeing people do little hand hops and little, you know, trying to stand on their hands and whatnot and things. But there was this cat that had some clean up rocks, clean footwork, and I could tell that fool was not from the 90s. You know what I mean? That fool was from the 80s. Like he everything about him was like straight classic. So later on, this dude, DJ Rock from Planada, told me, no, that's Mikey Ice. And so I was like, so that's how I knew who you were.
Right.
But like, it was a difference. You know what I mean? And so.
I was gonna ask you, do you remember a crew called Fatal Creation?
I remember the name. And I remember
Calvin and Curtis, they were twins.
Later on I met them. And I'm cool with them. They knew my sister Lisi.
Oh.
And they went to school with her. They went to Davis. Yeah, they had some crazy flares.
Yeah.
Calvin and Curtis. I remember seeing. It was one of them. I couldn't remember which one.
Me too. They were twins.
Yeah, it was twins. I remember the combo was he did a flare, and they went to a windmill, like half a windmill, and popped up to a 90.
Yeah.
On the rug. On a rug at some spot on Ninth Street. I forgot the name of the place. I think it's called Izzy's. But yeah, I was like, this fool burning his hand on the, you know what I mean? But it was dope. I was like, that was a dope little combo, and I hadn't seen anybody do combos like that. You know what I mean? Around here. So props to them.
There was also Fatal Creations. Somebody gave me a list of a bunch of different crews, but I just remember those are the first dudes that I met was Calvin and Curtis,
Right.
Otai, and a dude named Tony.
Right. Tony Tiger?
Not Tony the Tiger, his name is Tony Perez. He was a white dude that was in Fatal Creation.
Okay.
And then I met, and then there was another crew called Fresh Rock with the dude named Saper.
Okay. See, I know his name, and I probably met him.
Yeah.
But I know we have mutual friends. You know what I'm saying? So like Otai actually got with us in our crew California Soul for a little while.
Oh, I want to talk about California Soul too, bro.
Yeah, man, it's history. But anyway, yeah. So the difference between the '90s style, it seemed like the breakers from the 209 especially, since they didn't have any guidance, like I was saying, like a lot of the OGs weren't around to help. They had to turn to VHS tapes and whatever they could grasp, you know what I mean? Whatever, like TV show had a special documentary or something like that, they try to watch it, record it. They were watching a lot of Wild Style, Beat Street, you know what I mean?
Soul Train on Saturdays.
Soul Train, because you could catch somebody, you know what I mean? I think it was Little Caesar doing something or something
Good
like that.
Headspins, yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, there was always popping on Soul Train.
Party
though.
Machine though too.
Yeah,
With
Party
Peoples.
Machine. Yeah, you know, a lot of East Coast dancing, you know what I mean? But like, we were watching Soul Train in the 70s when they were just poppers, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then there was lockers, you know what I mean? Before the breaking. So, what I noticed just being in the scene still was a lot of the 90s kids were gravitating towards what Crazy Legs was saying. Crazy Legs and them, right? They were like kind of saying, this is what you break to, this music. These break beats, this James Brown, the funk, all this, you know what I mean? And so these 90s kids in Modesto, in the 209 area, were like, that's what we're gonna break to, because Crazy Legs said, you know what I mean? Like that's what they do, and then all these little break beats, and then you start seeing more documentaries and more stuff, you know, with that music playing. But in the 80s, we never even heard of that music. Like all those break beats and all those, the Mexican and all those songs and that people break to, like classic, you know what I mean? We didn't hear that. Like we didn't grow up to that. You know what I mean? We were dancing, we were breaking to Jam on It.
Egyptian Lover. Nucleus, but it's same thing, Jam on It.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like One for the Treble, Davey DMX, Run DMC, Hard Times,
Fat Boys.
Yeah, Electric Kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Like It's Time, you know, all those songs, that's what we were breaking to because that was what was out. That's what was new. And we wanted that new shit, you know what I mean?
Can't forget the Fat Boys.
Yeah, the Fat Boys, man. Fat Boys were like, they had dope beats. It was Latin Rascals, I believe, set them up with some dope ass beats, dude.
The beatboxing.
Yeah.
Buffy.
So anyway, the era that we came from, we didn't even pass on the music. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have people that were interested in listening to us, or people that were gonna come up and take it, you know what I mean? So we didn't pass anything on. You know, I blame us a little bit, you know, because we weren't out there enough to tell the youngsters like, hey man, you know what I mean? I respect what Crazy Legs and them are saying on the East Coast. I respect that, you know what I mean? That's their breaking though. You know what I mean? That's their breaking in the 70s and all that. And that's not us though. That's not, I mean, learn that too, but learn us, learn here. Like learn the West Coast, learn what we were breaking into in the 80s, but they were like, didn't care. Jam on It is corny to them. Planet Rock is corny to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but to us, that's what we got down to, you know what I'm saying? And so, even the poppers don't like the electro funk, you know what I mean? The new poppers, you know what I mean? they like to pop to the funk or the old school funk. You know what I mean? They don't. They think that the electro is corny or whatever. You know what I mean? But to us back then, like it was hard. Like those beats are hard. You know what I mean? Because they were evil and different. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference I'd say between the '90s era in Modesto and the '80s era. A lot of it was they looked to the East Coast. You know, for what do we do? What do we break to? How should we act? How should we dress? They look to that, which is, I'm not saying that that's bad, but I'm saying like they should have respected the '80s because it got skipped over. So now when you go to all these jams, even to this day, you know what I mean, you'll hear all those classic break beats that you heard, you know what I mean, that they break to on the East Coast in the '70s and '80s, early '80s, you know what I mean? But you don't hear like, well, at least I don't see it. You don't hear the Planet Rocks. You don't hear the Play at Your Own Risk. You don't hear the Egyptian Lover anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
I was at a B-Boy Summit a long time ago. And, it was a popping contest, right? So the DJ was playing different jams. He was playing funk. He was playing, you know, soul and electro funk. So the Hashim, the It's Time song, you know, It's Time, it came on, right? The DJ played it. The whole crowd went crazy because that is the fucking classic, right? The whole crowd went crazy. Even the poppers on stage were like, they were ready. And you know what? Let this truck go by.
Okay.
So one of the judges was Sugar Pop. Shout out to Sugar Pop. And he got up and he said, no, cut that shit. DJ, cut that shit. This is a popping contest. You need to play some popping music. And everybody was like, like they just went crazy for that song, you know what I mean? And he explained, you know, why you shouldn't pop to that song. But to us, to the whole generation that remembers that era, we hold that dear. That belongs to us. And it belongs to a lot of people. So to shut that out, I felt like it was kind of wrong to do. I mean, especially at that contest, you know, but like that's what I see. I see people conflicted with, you should do this. But even though I lived through this era, I want you to learn this. You know what I'm saying? They're not teaching everything. They're not teaching you about the music that we dance to at certain eras. They're just saying, like even the poppers are like, we pop to this. We pop to Funkadelic. We pop to this Prince. You know what I mean? These songs. And then when electro came, they were already older, right? Those cats were already older. But see, the younger generation in the '80s, we like Planet Rock, we like Egyptian Lover, we like all that. So we took it and listened to it and loved it, but then we didn't pass it on, you know what I'm saying? So the generation that came after us didn't like that shit. So just like we didn't like certain old school funk stuff, you know, to pop to, we wanted the new electro. The generation above, I mean, that came after us didn't like what we liked. So it's like we didn't like what they liked, and they don't like what we like. And, you know, it's like every generation is like fighting for like, nah, man, we don't like that shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I wish that at least the '80s generation could have passed along something to be respected by. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like looked at as corny. But I mean, that's what happens when you don't take care. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of OGs, like in the breakers and poppers, you know, like they went to the army, they got locked up, started families. You know what I'm saying? And they just left it. And someone like me who's still kind of around it because I was DJing, you know what I'm saying? So just the fact that I was in the DJ game still, it kept me relevant in the scene. I mean, I was never a dope breaker, you know what I mean? I was a whatever popper, you know what I mean? But like if you take me and what I did back then and, you know, give me like a week of practice, you know, I can get down like as if, you know, I was clean. But I only had a couple of moves, you know what I'm saying? But back then, everybody was fucking like on a dope level. Like a lot of people were like super dope level, like killing shit. And you know what I mean? If those guys had stuck around and still stayed with it and believed in it, they could be going to Japan teaching. They could be going to, you know what I mean, Germany, you know what I mean, and doing all this shit. You know what I mean? Barely within the last 5 to 6 years, you're seeing people finally get some respect other than the boogaloos, you know what I mean? Like props to the boogaloos, you know what I'm saying? Like they were constantly going to other countries and getting teaching classes and having people learn from them. You know what I mean? But there was more back then than just them. You know what I mean? There was other groups and other styles. And recently, probably in the last 10 years, they started, other countries are like booking like the Strutters now, you know what I mean? Pop Tart and all these guys that were from the Bay Area. And so it's like, people want to learn. People want to see different parts of the country and how they came together in this dance culture. And they want to learn, what did these people listen to? You know what I mean? What era was this? You know what I mean? And so like, I'm here to help, you know what I mean? With whatever you want to know, whatever you want to ask, you know what I mean? Hit up 99, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to, pop and break. But right now, like, I'm just like known as a DJ, you know what I'm saying? So, but I did more than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's why I really don't say too much that I'm a DJ. I just say that I DJ. Like, there's something I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what makes me. Like, everything makes me. Like, the popping, the breaking, the graffiti, you know what I mean? All that is what makes me. MCing. I used to get on the mic, you know what I mean? So, that's what I am, you know what I mean? But to make things simpler, like, I'll just simplify it and say, oh yeah, I'm a DJ. But I try not to say that too much. I try to say that that's what I do. Like, I DJ, you know what I'm saying? So that's just my outlook on it, you know?
I got you. So, how'd you get the name 99, and what year did you get the name 99? And what does 99 mean? Because I've always kind of like scratched my head like, what does 99 mean?
Yeah, okay, so I always wanted like a more of a hip hop sounding name, not a DJ sounding name, you know what I'm saying? Not like, Dr. Rock or Mr. Fresh or like, Cool AG or like, something. So I didn't want something that sounded like it was a fad type of name. So, there was like Phase 2, the graffiti artists, and Futura 2000. So they had a name and a number. So I wanted to have like a name and a number for my name because I did more than just DJ. But so my name was going to be Impact 99. Like I wanted a number, so I wanted a high number, like the number 99. But I didn't want it to be 99. I wanted it to be. It was gonna be like maybe 9 and a D9, like 9D9. Then I graffitied it as 9D9. Then I graffitied it, I wrote it as 9T9. And I like the way the T looked better, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I thought my name's gonna be Impact 9T9 would be my name. But I shortened it. I took out the impact part and just left the 99, you know what I'm saying? So I asked some friends in high school, like what should I do about my name, you know what I mean? So I simplified it and just kept the 99. I mean, it doesn't have a meaning, you know what I mean? There's nothing behind it. I mean, behind you right now is the freeway 99, you know what I'm saying? That's the 99, so.
The 99 freeway. That's true.
So, I mean, a lot of people messed up on my name.
Yeah.
Some people on purpose, some people on purpose, you know what I mean? Some people, they just don't know. When I say it's 99, they go, oh, 99? I'm like, no, man, it's 99.
People call me Mickey Ice.
Oh, man.
I'm like, nah, man. They've been Mickey Ice. I'm like, it's not Mickey Ice. Or they're all Mikey Icy. I'm like, it's not Mikey Icy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like,
man.
to me, it's a little bit annoying when somebody does mix up my name because it's spelled proper. Mikey, M-I-K-E-Y,
right, exactly.
I-C-E. It's not Mickey.
Right, Mickey has a C.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I know what you mean, though. Like, a lot of times people never, even when they put my name on flyers, they always put, like, somebody said, Mikey Nice is in the house. I was like, it's not nice, though, bro.
Right. I had to represent today for you, man. I got the old school classic Beat Street Puma.
Oh, yeah.
Jacket with the Puma suit.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Puma color combo that they wore on Beat Street in the Roxy battle scene. You know what I mean? I have more Pumas than this. I got the black one, the blue with red, the red with blue, the blue and gray. You know what I mean? Because that movie Beat Street like made an impact on me and my friends so much that coming up soon I'm gonna fly out to Phoenix just to meet Pex, Flip Rock, Mr. Wave, and the homie that played Ramo, John.
Yeah.